And then all of a sudden, months later, you'll log into your rainy day fund and go, wow. Next one here is a strong encouragement to have a rainy day fund, or sometimes we call this a profit war chest. We had a client in about May this year just send us a bit of a note of thanks, saying that a couple of years ago we recommended that they start a separate bank account called the Profit War Chest. And they said, we didn't really need to use it since then, but this year's been a bit of an interesting one, and there's been a few rainy days. So thank you so much for your recommendation. It's saved our business and meant that we didn't have to make anyone redundant, and we've seen out the other side. So as an accountant, that's pretty fulfilling. So I do want to suggest this one again, if you don't already have something set up, to create a rainy day fund. Now, the key here is to ideally have a separate bank account in your business name at a separate bank, so that you're not looking at this account every time you log into your transactional banking accounts. Now, that keeps it out of your mind, so you ignore it and you don't feel like you've got 20, 30, 50 or 100 grand sitting aside just for that rainy day. Hopefully it's out of sight, out of mind, but you do know, I guess, at the end of the day, you can access it if you do need it. Now, a lot of business owners I've seen are actually quite cashed up as a result of the stimulus measures. So if you don't have something like this in place, then start with any excess cash that's lying around in the business accounts. So if you've received 80 grand of cash flow boost, let's say, and you haven't needed a cent of that, then there's your rainy day fund, or at least the start of it. And then even clients with JobKeeper was, if you're eligible in any of the first few months, even on their own, you're eligible for the full 6-month initial period. So what that meant is, if we had a client who took a little bit of a revenue hit in March or in April this year, and then they've picked up to the same sales or more, then they've probably got a lot of JobKeeper lying around that they don't really need to survive, or for their business to survive, which is, I guess, a great thing, but that's how the rules were written. Please use or set aside that excess cash for the purpose that it was given to you for, which was actually to look after the business in a downturn. So that's essentially the definition of a rainy day fund. So put it aside. Now, in terms of the next point there, which is contribute regularly, please, I prefer to send a weekly amount here over to that bank account. Now, it could be a couple of $100, or it could be $1,000 a week. Whatever that number is for you, it needs to continually build that rainy day fund up. And you'll get to the point where you won't notice the cash flow drain in your working accounts, and then all of a sudden, months later, you'll log into your rainy day fund and go, wow, that is an impressive balance there. Now, if it builds up, I guess in terms of what to aim for, the recommendation from a number of different people who write on this topic is aim for 3 months worth of your business operating expenses. And I would suggest you also add 3 months of profit in there that you want to take out as a business owner for your efforts, so that you know that you've got 3 months complete cash flow if anything ever hit the fan, or hit the fan again, rather. This year has been an interesting one for that.